I have a new idea. So today I'm like holding my camera like that, so I feel like a vlogger all of a sudden. And don't mind the mess, but I just moved it back in, so it's okay. I have an idea because I have a huge acrylic yarn stash and I want to get rid of it. So I'm going to take you along with me to make one project at a time and to go through my acrylic yarn stash. So I'll show you quick. So this is my yarny yarn stash, which is a nice amount, I think. Like this is all my wool and natural fibers, but downstairs in the basement in our storage I have a whole box of acrylic yarn and I want to do something with it. So yeah, so this is all the yarn stash that I have, which I'm proud of. That it's not too much. No shame to people who have more, but I just like that it's only this because otherwise I'm overwhelming my boyfriend. So I'm gonna take you with to my acrylic yarn stash in the basement and then we're gonna make our first plan. So here we go. So here it is. This is so many like acrylic whips from when I first started knitting again. Some acrylic held together with some cotton, which makes a really nice texture actually. But I never finished that sweater. Some crochet. So a lot of knitting in here, a lot of yarn in here, and I want to make something nice. So I'll just get it out a little bit and I'll show you again. So I got all my acrylic yarn. It's one big mess. So I'm gonna try to clean it out a little bit more. Get it a little more presentable and less like this. And then I'll talk you through all my plans. This is the first thing I've ever knitted. This is starting from when I was 7, and then I think I tried a little more later when I was a few years older, but this was like my first ever knitwear design. So here's everything. Some unfinished projects, and a bunch of bags. So this is my entire acrylic yarn stash. Some like actual needles there. Bunch of oddballs here. So I organized everything basically. I'm gonna like put some piles down with project ideas and I'll talk you through those. But it's a lot. I put together a few yarns, so it's all acrylic, hence the acrylic stash down. So I have 3 things in mind. First off, I have this yarn, this acrylic ochre yarn, and I made a t-shirt with this for myself. That's when I figured out that I can't use acrylic on my armpits. So I was thinking to make like a neck, you know, one of those like collars basically that have like a flap at the front and the back. I was gonna make one of those for my mom. So I have like 3 balls of this, which I think would be enough. But I was thinking maybe the terrazzo neck by Petite Knit, or maybe I think Sari Nordland has a nice, like, I don't know, the Kutar neck, I think. It has like cables. So idea number 1. Then secondly, I want to make a baby knit for a family member of my boyfriend's. And I'm just going to use this yarn. It's the same yarn and in light blue. It's a girl, but I think they don't really want it like pink. So I was thinking the festival sweater with this yarn as the main color. And then these 2 as contrast colors. Actually, it's just so messy. Actually, I started the festival sweater in pink, like a child's version. So this is what it looks like at the start. I did this a long time ago and then I made something else instead. But that's basically what it's gonna look like. It's just so cute. So I think I'm not gonna finish this one. I'm just gonna make a new one and then do the blue for the main color, and then this would be pink or lilac, and then do pink, lilac, like that. So I think that would be super cute, and acrylic is pretty nice for baby knits. So that's option number 2. Then option number 3, this yarn looks pretty gross. It's really old. It's like, I think my mom got this from her grandmother. And it is this like fluffy acrylic yarn. And I have 2 balls. I thought I had more, but I found 2 balls. And I was thinking, because I've been wanting to make the Boulevard Bag by Lily Kate Designs, or Lily Kate Friends, Lily Kate Friends. And I heard her talking in her podcast that she used like a fluffy yarn for the main part. So it's one of those like clutches basically in like this banana shape. And for the banana shape part, she uses a fluffy yarn together with something else. So I was thinking to use acrylic for a bag, because then I can just wash it really easily. And then maybe for the strap, I'll use a cotton, or maybe just use an acrylic, because I also have black, like normal acrylic yarn. So this is the fluffy. The fluffy yarn looks really weird on here, but, and there's the black regular acrylic yarn. So maybe I'll just make it all black, or have a little colorful detail or something. So I think that'll be fun. And let's see what I'll start with. But I do want to mention that I'll probably make all 3 of these. So whichever one I choose, the other ones will be in the next part or the part after that. So that'd be really fun. Hi, an update. So yesterday I did a lot of work on this. So this is the Boulevard Bag. Yeah, I think it looks really good. It's all knit on 4mm needles, but it's like super dense and the stitches are super big. Like the gauge is pretty big, like a lot different than I would expect for a 4mm needle. So I'll just keep on knitting on this. So I am this far. I started the second half, so finished my first half, and it's starting to look like a bag. So this is where the like structure will go into. I still need to see if I have some tie wraps or something to put in, but I'll see. And now I'm making the second half, and then you do a 3 needle bind off to combine the 2, which is pretty smart because then you get structure in the bottom of your bag. So yeah, I started my second one. I did the top, so this is where the zipper would be, and now I'm starting like this part, so I'm like here on the second one. And I'm not sure if it was good in my last clip, but I am using all of this yarn. So that's this like super old yarn from the Hema, from my Dutchies over here. It's like vintage Hema yarn, 100% poly acrylic. So 2 balls of that and 1 ball of like regular acrylic. And then for the like details, the cotton, I'm using these two. So this is from We Are Knitters, where you always seem to have a disclaimer like, I bought it before the Zara scandal. But I did buy it before the Zara scandal. And this yarn, which is Cotton Kings from Hobby. It's just like a regular Aran weight cotton, and this is a Pima cotton. And I love Pima cotton. But I use this because she recommends that to use cotton for this part. So I'm stashing down the acrylic with this a lot because it's 3 strands held together, and it's like so thick, super thick, like carpet tee. So yeah, I'm just gonna knit on that now and see how far I can get. I finished the top short rows. So here you can see it shapes like that. It shapes with short rows, which is really cool. Like it has a really distinct shape. And there's 2 versions, and I'm doing the second version. The first version is a little more like a sphere, and mine is a little like flatter, I suppose. But I also like kind of meshed them up just because after picking up stitches, I didn't have the right amount of stitches, and then I just switched to the first version at the bottom. So, but it's fine. Yeah, I've got to say that it takes a little bit of extra thinking to go through the pattern. And I thought that her designs were always like super clear and beginner friendly, but it's like a little I mean, if you go through it and you read it like as you're doing the steps, it's fine. But I like to pre-read everything and then understand immediately what it says. And it's like, it feels like it's been written in a little bit of a rush, if you understand what I mean. Like it's totally understandable, but it could just be like this slight, just a little like clearer, I feel like. And I think I consider myself as a pretty experienced knitter now. So that I have that means that people with less experience would have a lot more trouble reading the pattern. So just so you know, yeah. So this is how far I got, and now it's a little bit of like straight knitting, and then there's more short rows to shape the bottom. So yeah, I'll just continue doing that. Here we go. So it's nice and blowing out. I finished the body part of the second one, and I just need to do like this thing and then this bottom part for this one. So I'm gonna need to switch over to those colors again, do a little tuck section, and then do the bottom of this one. And then they're ready to like be attached together. So it's going pretty quick. Really good. And yarn wise, I'm like almost running out of this one. This one is still full, so I'll have enough for sure. And it is hurting my hands a lot because it's so thick. It's such a thick, dense material. So especially purling is like hurting a lot, but yeah, so that'll be cute. And you can see here now that it's like a little blue. This one, that was the other skein that I was using, but I don't mind it. I think it looks cute. It's like only in this section, so not at the bottom. So I think it will look fine because it's not right next to each other. Although at the top it will be. Oh well. Okay. The bag is all finished, and also the strap. So the strap and the bag are, so all the knitting is done basically. I just need to do some sewing now. I need to sew in the zipper. I have a lot of zippers I sew, so I do have a lot of zippers. I'm not sure if they're going to be like long enough for this, but I'll just have a look, and otherwise maybe get a different zipper. Although I don't really have a zipper shop where I live or anywhere I can buy zippers, but there is a market, but it's every Friday, and it's Friday today, so in the evening, so I will be too late, but that's okay. This thing took so long to knit. So it is double knitted, and I started on this end, and so you cast on like half the stitches, and then you do like you cast on some extra ones to like start double knitting. And I did double knitting, and then all of a sudden I did like this, and then I realized that double knitting is just like basically like knitting on a small circumference like in the round. So then I switched to doing that, and you can clearly see where I started doing that. So it does, like, it's so much neater when I just like knit in the round, because here at the ends the stitches are like not very like tight for the double knitting. So I'll put this somewhere where I would have it in the back so you don't really notice. Well, you probably wouldn't have noticed anyway if I wouldn't have told you. So I did the rest of the strap all by just like doing magic loop on long circulars. But it's finally finished. So these were the two that I was using. I used of this like red pinky one. I used like a whole 50-gram ball. So I think this was all I had left. So almost the whole one. So I started a new one when I started this. So that's super long. But now I just have to piece together. So I'm gonna do that now and put in the tie wraps. Because you put in tie wraps to make it secure, like make it structured. Make sure it doesn't like be all floopy like it is now. Also, I'm thinking of giving it a wash. I might give it a wash first and then piece it together, because this acrylic is very, very old, as you know. And then I'll have my first finished item for my acrylic stash down. Yay! It is finished! Ta-da! Isn't that great? So, here, I can wear it like that. Beautiful. So I finished my Boulevard bag. Actually it fits fine. I've just put it up here so you can see it. Like the strap is long enough. You saw me sew everything together. I didn't do it in too much detail because it's a paid for pattern and I didn't want to like show you how exactly to do everything. But look how beautiful this looks. Like how it looks so seamless at these edges. And it's like so sturdy because of the tie wraps. Now my hair is on it because I put it on. But yeah. So beautiful. So I sewed in the zipper. So there's the zipper. Inside. And the like thing I love the most that I wasn't aware of that it was going to happen is that it actually like folds in here. See? Like here's the seam where you seam both sides together, but it makes this like that look of like what a handbag would have too. Genius, genius, genius. This is such a smart design. It's amazing. Lily Kate really did so well. And I've got to say, because at first I was like, it's not that beginner friendly. I feel like if you read it, then it does make sense. Yeah. It doesn't take you like by the hand, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm super happy with my first finished project from knitting down my acrylic yarn stash. So this was part 1. Be sure to tune in for the second part. Secretly, I'm already working on it. And I hope to see you then. So make sure to subscribe down below, Leave your comments in what you think of this bag, if you're gonna knit it as well, if I inspired you to knit down your acrylic yarn stash, or what projects you think would be cool for me to knit with that yarn stash that you saw. So let me know, and I hope to see you in the next part. All right, bye.